Hello beautiful people, I'm RaishPhoenix, and in today's video I will be showing you the inking process of this illustration. If you'd like to see, just keep watching. Alright, so first I'm going to dive into how I came up with this idea. So for day one, Inktober, the prompt is ring. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to either Google or just give myself a lot of time to ponder on an idea that comes to mind, even though, well, okay, let me first start off with saying I started this prompt from like the 4th of September. Okay, I know that I can't get a drawing done in a day, so I am starting early because I am playing no games. So I give myself a lot of time to figure out what visuals came to mind for this prompt. I think at first I was kind of thinking, okay, ring. Ring as a sound, ring as something you put on your hand, and I kind of just kept developing what I associated with ring, and I was like, okay, ring can also mean circle. And then I was like, okay, like let me illustrate something with a lot of circles. So I started thinking of her earrings. I started thinking of her wearing a round hat that resembles a ring. So my patrons at first, so first of all, let me say that if you are part of my Patreon family, you are seeing more progress of myself working on the sketch. So my patrons saw the choker that I originally gave her, and I changed it from a choker that had a ring coming off of it to a bow tied around her neck with a bell. So as I was working on this piece, I started really thinking about ways to really push this concept. I wanted this illustration to have kind of a, I guess kind of like ethereal feel in terms of like the subject feeling connected to Earth. Like it's kind of tricky to describe because most of the energy that I get for what I want this piece to be is from color, but the way I'm approaching Inktober is I just want to focus on drawing and inking. So if I do color it, it would be later, but I really envision this piece as her standing somewhere and she's surrounded by nature and the sun is kind of peeking through the trees from behind her and kind of shining down on her. I have these moments where I look outside a lot and I just see how the leaves are dancing in the wind and the sun, how it creates these different shadows throughout the leaves, some dark, some light, of course shadows, whatever, but there are these beautiful moments where I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, there's something so beautiful about seeing the sun peeking through the leaves of trees, this warmth that comes from it. So I was thinking kind of like a ring, like, I don't know, kind of like the universe sending off a frequency through the trees that resonates with you and makes you feel calm. After having like a stressful day, like that moment you go outside and you feel the breeze and you look at the trees and you feel amazing and relaxed. That's kind of like the ring I started thinking of. And then on top of that, I started thinking about like if she had a bow around her neck that had a bell on it, then that's kind of a ring, like a chiming sound, like, what's it called? Damn it, I'm forgetting like those things that people have outside that they chime when the wind blows. Like I was thinking about that. Wind chimes, oh my god. So wind chimes. I was thinking of putting her in a thin material. So a thin material, kind of like a weightless feeling. So I was thinking of tulle and like the material tulle and with spots on it. Like another thing I like doing during Inktober is playing with different textures of fabric, because I feel like when I illustrate different fabrics through Inktober and using ink, I think it's a very great way for me to capture something different because I'm more focused on the line work as opposed to the work that color can do. It just felt right, and I wanted to play around with natural hair. So the thing about Inktober and the way I like to approach it is I like to draw things I usually don't. I like to really push my mind in terms of what comes to my imagination first and really go beyond that and like push and push, because I really want to get in the habit of thinking outside of the box and I really want to do things that I haven't done. I know for a lot of artists, and I have said this in previous videos, it's very easy for us to kind of get stuck in the same realm of either drawing the same body type, drawing the same hair length, drawing the same gender, drawing the same sex. Like I think it's very easy for us to get caught up in what we usually do, but I feel like I just want to capture everyone's beauty. Like there's so much beauty in this world, and there's so many beautiful features and body types and genders and sexualities, and I feel like everyone should be in art. I really do, and that's why I like to use Inktober as an opportunity to really bring as much inclusivity into my artwork and really push that. After I finished working on the sketch, I feel like I definitely had a better idea of how I want to move forward. As I said earlier, I did kind of think of, like, color was kind of the main focus in terms of getting the vibe that I was going for in this illustration. And I was going to start coloring it after I inked it, but then I realized that I'm making it more difficult than it really needs to be for myself. I just want to focus on literally just drawing and inking. I can always come back to it later, and I think my main focus for Inktober is to get better at conceptualizing my ideas, bringing it into a successful composition on the page, and then also just becoming better at drawing right now. Moving forward, I know I'm not going to get through all of the days, because that's just, I'm not. It's not going to happen, So my game plan is, like I said, I like to think of what I'm doing days ahead. So even though today, depending on when I post this video, even though today may be day 1 of Inktober, I'm already on day 3 because I am playing no games. So I'm definitely taking the approach in which I think about the prompt earlier on so that I can get through it. Another technique I use is I like to Google the word. So I think sometimes I may have a very limited view of kind of what I could do. So by Googling the prompt, simply just reading the definition helps me think outside of the box. So that's one of the approaches that I use for Inktober. Another thing I like to do is I like to combine prompts. So I feel like sometimes looking at one prompt may be, I don't know, like I could Google the definition and I still may not get anything. But then after I look at the next day prompt and combine it with whatever that current day's prompt may be, it may give me a better idea for what to do. So I think combining prompts is another great way to kind of take the pressure off of feeling like you have to draw every day, and also a way to just really get those creative juices flowing. Anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me work on this piece. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.
Mm-hmm.